Okay, we're starting off the day with a totally uncontroversial one. Is Andrew Tate a good role model? Plus, I'm going to share some of my thoughts generally about Andrew Tate and how he fits into sort of the media ecosystem. But there was news recently because Andrew Tate is now in Florida.
So now at 6, controversial influencer Andrew Tate and his brother landed in South Florida today.
The brothers coming from Romania, where they've been for the past years after being accused of rape and human trafficking. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten joins us live from Fort Lauderdale, where their plane touched down.
And Ted, a lot of people asking, why did they come here? Governor DeSantis said they are not welcome in the state of Florida.
Andrew Tate was questioned shortly after he arrived in Florida and addressed some of these allegations.
Listen. We live in a democratic society where it's innocent until proven guilty, and I think my brother and I are largely misunderstood. There's a lot of opinions about us, a lot of things that go around about us on the internet. We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever. We have no criminal record anywhere on the planet ever.
Okay, so now back to the part, is Andrew Tate a good role model? Many big influencers in the conservative ecosystem sphere are not a fan of Andrew Tate, and they let that be known. We'll cover 3 people here: Megyn Kelly, Ben Shapiro, and then also Dave Portnoy, kind of conservative, kind of not, but whatever. This is from a very recent podcast with PBD.
Dave Portnoy. Here's Dave Portnoy, who is a Trump supporter. He's had Trump on. He actually did a good interview with him.
Interesting.
He's got a right-leaning audience.
Yep.
He says, what's the point of booting out illegals and criminals while somehow becoming a safe haven for the Tate brothers? That's one.
Safe
2,
haven.
Ben Shapiro, okay? You know who he is. You and Ben, good friends. You guys, I'm sure you have had dinner already since you've been here. Because
Let's do one by one.
Okay, so let's do Dave.
Let's do Dave.
Go with Dave. What do you say to Dave? Dave's a guy that's done well for himself. What do you say to him?
I've spoken to him once on a podcast, and I said women couldn't drive. And the face of horror he pulled. I don't know if he was because he was afraid of his audience, and he was like, look, I love women drivers.
Is this the one about the IQ stuff that you guys talked about?
We did a
I remember
podcast
that.
once.
I
I said
remember
women
that.
couldn't
Yeah.
drive, and he pulled this fake face of horror because I guess he's afraid of being canceled.
Right.
It was on a Zoom. There was a girl on it, another guy.
It says everything you need to know about Dave. I don't know much about Dave. I don't know. I see videos of him jumping up and down about sports teams, and he's 47 with no children and smokes weed. That's what I know. He dislikes me. A lot of these conservatives who dislike me for the key reason that I am the hero they want to be. They know I'm the hero of the masculine youth, and they want to be the hero of the masculine youth. Like, why doesn't all the young boys look up to me? All the young men look up to Andrew. They should look up to me. I'm a conservative. I'm a tough guy. No, you're not.
Okay, we'll get to Ben Shapiro now, but that point that Andrew Tate kind of made there about masculinity, I could see a lot of content creation, even in like the conservative political space, shifting to that in the near future, not necessarily agreeing with Andrew Tate's takes, but I could see it kind of getting there. I'll show a clip from Andrew Schulz later in the video, which I think is a good point, but moving on.
Let's go to Shapiro. So,
little Ben. One second. I'm Ben. Let me lower my chair. Let me lower my chair down.
Listen, I suggested the other day that you and Ben do podcasts together.
Listen, let me tell you about Ben Shapiro.
I'm
I'm not even going to read Ben's crap. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear Ben's crap. Let me tell you about Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, the only OnlyFans donates to AIPAC, which pays Ben. So when he complains about anything to do with me helping girls optimize webcam profiles 12 years ago is absolutely hypocritical. He's taking money from OnlyFans today. He's taking money from OnlyFans as it
Ben
stands.
does OnlyFans videos?
Ben, I'm sure for enough money he would. Midget
I did
porn.
not know that.
Midget porn. OnlyFans are paying AIPAC, which are paying him as it stands.
That's what you're
so
saying.
anything about his pornography crap can go out the window. Anything about him complaining about my criminal charges, once again, due process out the window. I like to think, after what they just did to Trump. By the way, remember, Trump is...
I'm not sure what he's talking about, but the link from porn to AIPAC, but I mean, if you know that's correct or not correct, you can say in the comments. I don't know, and I don't actually feel like looking that up. Okay, so we'll show here one more conservative influencer with a negative view of Andrew Tate, and then we'll move on to that clip from Andrew Schulz and some other stuff. But here we go, Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly. I don't know if you saw what she said. And
No.
Megyn is a G. Megyn's very good at what she does.
Didn't know what she said.
Yeah, she came out and she, the Tampa Bay young Republicans said something about welcoming you and Tristan as a free speech absolutist. The Tates haven't been formally convicted of any crime, and we are welcome to speak to our group. He is welcome to speak. We are old enough to remember when a convicted felon won the presidency.
Absolutely.
#FreeState.
Absolutely.
She responds, "You've lost your ways, boys."
Well, Megyn, I've never spoken to you in my life. I actually saw a few clips of yours. I thought that you were pretty good. I was a fan. You still can't drive. but it's fine. I mean, like, people are allowed. People are allowed.
Maybe driving classes.
People are allowed.
If it's one is marketing, the other one.
Oh, man.
You can't drive, Megyn, but you can have an opinion. It's a free country. You can have your opinion on me.
So comedian Andrew Schulz discusses Andrew Tate coming back to America, which I agree with his take. It's also pretty funny.
What do you make of the Tate thing, him coming back?
I mean, he's an American citizen. You have to protect American citizens. And just because he hasn't been convicted of anything, he hasn't been convicted of anything, he's an American citizen. We have to protect our citizens, and you're allowed to say whatever you want as an American. This is free speech. We believe in all those things. So, like, there's no question whether you have to let an American back. Of course you have to let an American back. Now, the emotional reaction is you were talking crazy shit about America, and then when you get clipped over there in Romania, now you're coming back to daddy. So I need you to acknowledge who to go.
I didn't even think of that. That's actually hilarious, though. There was a moment where I thought Andrew Schulz was getting a little bit cringe, but lately he's had some great takes. I mean, I know he's like a comedian. He's kind of joking. That is pretty funny.
I just think over the next 100 years, I don't see how America can compete. I don't see how it can compete. Because when America loses its economic prosperity, then you're going to have to revert to the things like morality, which it has none of. Romania has no economic prosperity, but they have morality.
A little bit more coming about if Andrew Tate's a good role model or not, but I think, unless he goes to prison, I think he will be a huge voice online for many years to come. One, just because he's incredibly captivating. He brings a ton of views. Whether you like him or not, he brings a ton of views wherever he goes, and he's like one of the best in the world at just ranting off the cuff. And the other thing, Andrew Schulz will touch on it here. Andrew Schulz is talking about this clip. He's talking about Ben Shapiro.
And now that he no longer has societal utility, he's like really struggling. Like, societal utility is oftentimes what can make people like really powerful. And he rose to fame at a time where like conservatives felt like really scrutinized just for their beliefs. And a lot of them just didn't have the arguments to defend their positions. Right? They grew up in cities and states where it was normal to be a conservative. And then all of a sudden they're in these other places where like, can I even share this? Can I say I'm a conservative? It's like really radioactive to be conservative. And then all of a sudden he's like this like really obviously smart, Harvard educated arguer. He's like a really good arguer in developing ideas and bits and putting together these arguments. They're like foolproof. And he handed them off to those people. But now being conservative is more popular,
super mainstream,
than being Democratic.
This was the point I was saying earlier on about, you can speak truth to power and be that sort of, it was almost like rock starry, like kind of like rebellious, anarchistic type thing. It's like, it's just the kind of position that most people hold now around a lot of we probably should be careful about what we're doing too.
So look, I agree with this 100%. Like, being a conservative is not nearly as like edgy as it was 10 years ago. And I think that helped people like Ben Shapiro, who's still great on camera. He's still like a fantastic commentator. He's very smart. Again, I don't agree with everything he says, but he's obviously good at it. This is my take. Let me know if you disagree with this. I could see a ton of content creation kind of shift, especially once, like, this will be 4 years, but once Trump is out of office, shift towards the conversation of like masculinity. How do men and women get along with each other? A lot of the West has very low fertility rates right now. What are we going to do to fix that? Again, that's just like a take that I could be totally wrong on, but I could see a lot of the conversation shifting to that and just how to figure that out, because it'll be edgy, it'll be interesting, it'll be prickly. And I think a guy like Andrew Tate could thrive there. Again, but maybe it's not Andrew Tate. Maybe someone else comes along with like a cleaner past. I don't know. Okay, final clip of Andrew Tate. I believe this is from a podcast in 2022, if not 2021. This would be the clip that I would reference to say it's the hardest to say if he's a good role model. I mean, judging someone based off one clip is a pretty lefty thing to do, but it's still a pretty tough look.
I'm trying to teach these women, and the women kept it up. So I said to them, it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm taking over. So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in from me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in. And me and my brother, and eventually some staff I trained, would do all the talking. The girls were just pure, just famoosers, just laughing and doing this, their titties out. And they were talking to fucking ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it. If they'd come and say, well, what kind of, all of it. We were milking them dry. Women haven't got a clue how to famusa do. I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, All of it to me. Give me it all. So like, and it's basic shit, right? You'd have a guy.
You feel bad or no?
Fuck no. To give a solitary fuck.
Did you tell like?
I don't give a fuck.
So I became aware of Andrew Tate probably when a lot of other people did when he got kind of famous. I think it was in like the middle of 2021. He said lots of shocking things, lots of funny stuff. It was hard to say if he was being a shock jock, if he actually meant some of this stuff, but that would be the clip where it's just the toughest to look at that and be like, yeah, he's a great role model. That's just, in my opinion, for sure, a dishonorable way to make money. Yes, maybe you made a bunch of money really quickly, but it reminds me of this quote, just a movie, but from The Big Short, where he says, you can afford to make less money, just make less. That's how I feel about seeing a clip like that. Just pick something where you just make money slower and over time, and you don't have to like totally rip people off. I mean, you could say the people on the other end were being like completely like, what are you thinking? Just sending some random person money on the internet, but maybe there are other clips of him as well that I'm not aware. But final point, I actually like in many ways that he and people like him are willing to like challenge conservatives on many things. I mean, I think we all know the left is not coming with many good arguments right now. So it kind of makes for an interesting dialogue when he and people like him challenge kind of more traditional conservative types on some of this stuff. I mean, yeah, I think it's interesting. But with that said, I'll finish the video. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.